And we're back now with our lifestyle correspondent, Lisa Pearson. So we're talking about money this month.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and first off, because I wanted to encourage everybody to consider having a budget, I wanted to give you some reasons why you might actually want to have a budget and why it's actually really worth doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I thought I'd cover first. But the first rule before you start doing it is you have to go on a money complaining diet, right?
A money complaining diet?
Yeah, okay. No complaining. You're not allowed to complain about the lack of money. You're not allowed to discuss that you don't have money. You're not allowed to go with your mates and sit and have a beer and moan about the fact you've got no money. You're not allowed. The only time you're allowed to discuss money is when you're actually doing something about it with your budget or whatever.
Right.
But the rest of the time, no complaining, no talking about it.
So if you've got a calculator in one hand and a bank statement in the other, that's allowed?
Yes, but the rest of the times you're not allowed to complain about it at all.
Yeah. Do you know what? You say that. People do that all the time. They'll meet with a mate for a drink. So, oh, I'm so broke. I'm thinking, you're not that broke because you can afford to go out for a drink.
Yes. And I get people phoning me up for wanting help and advice. And then they explain in the same sentence that they've been on holiday, they smoked, they've just been to the pub and they got a car. And they wanted the help for free. And I'm kind of like, yeah, no. It's kind of not happening.
No. Okay. So first of all, then we've got to completely sort of banish all this moaning about money. We're not allowed to do that.
Yes, and you'll feel much better within a couple of weeks. So do that, and then obviously I'll talk about budgeting another time and explain the whole thing. But the reason why you want to budget is because what it will give you is it will give you the ability to not be a mug for all the marketing around you, to actually look around at your place where you live and know that everything around you really wanted because you actually planned for it. You really actually thought it through. None of it was one of those buys that you think, oh, I wish I hadn't got that. What a fool I was. And so then you'll have huge pride in what you have actually got. So you focus on that, focus on what you do actually have instead of what you don't have. There's no complaining about what you don't have because you're on that diet, you see. And it also creates, especially if you're with somebody else, it creates less arguments because if you're controlling the money and if it's very clear and very honest and very upfront, then there's no potential to use it as a power play within the relationship. There's no myths about who does and doesn't spend more money. There's no arguments because somebody thinks it's unfairly split or whatever. You don't have someone kind of passive-aggressively overspending because they're not feeling appreciated. You get that a lot, you see. You don't then have someone else going, well, they spent loads of money, so I'm going to go and spend money, because you've actually got the budget. So the arguments reduce, the stress in the relationship reduces, which for the blokes means basically more sex.
Right, okay.
And it does work, because if you're trying to control your woman with money, it's not going to work. She's not going to be happy. Okay? Be upfront, be honest, be open, and it all works much, much more, but much better. And you don't have the kids nagging you for spending stuff, because you can say to them, no, this is the budget. Look, see? This is how it goes. This is your bit. Spent already. Sorry, no more ice creams or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And also, you're not going to suddenly get caught out with a really good budget. You're not going to get caught out with something nasty that crops up.
Yeah.
And you are going to be able to plan ahead for lovely things to happen. Once you catch up, you will actually be able to plan ahead. And it is just as much fun. I'm lucky I'm going to this festival camping, like we were talking about, camping to a festival at the weekend. And you've got the whole run-up. I've been excited about this for months. The kids are excited. If you plan it all the way up for it, then you just get more from it. I suppose I'm saying get more from what you spend.
Right.
Really enjoy what you're spending.
Okay, so it's a good bit of psychology there behind the whole, trying to live to a budget. Then it's not just about working out some sums and putting down some numbers. It's actually about the thinking behind it as well.
Absolutely, money is definitely kind of like an energetic psychological thing.
Right.
Really, the actual numbers don't count. It's how you deal with the numbers that do count. And I'm not underestimating how difficult it is. I do talk to loads of mums, especially at the moment, because they get very stressed because, there are necessities. There is feeding the children that is sometimes difficult, and that kind of thing is just awful. But even so, even those mums, I've seen them doing things that I think are amazing and finding ways to handle what they've got, and they do get a massive sense of pride eventually, but you have to change the psychology around it.
Okay, you're listening to West Hart's Drive Time with me, Danny Smith, and we'll be back with our lifestyle correspondent Lisa Pearson in just a moment.